there's always something new happening in the arts and culture scene here in Polk County, and this spring is no different. So here today, we have somebody from the Polk Museum of Art who's going to tell us about some new exhibits. We have Adam Justice. He is the Curator of Art at the Polk Museum of Art, and welcome to the show, Adam.
Thanks.
It's been a long time since you've joined us here.
It has been, too long.
Well, tell us a little bit about, before we get into the new exhibits, for those people who might not know, tell us a little bit about the Polk Museum of Art.
The museum was originally founded in 1966, and it was actually founded by the Junior League of Greater Lakeland. And it was originally the Polk Public Museum. It was housed in a really small building off of Lake Morton. Eventually, the museum shifted to an old abandoned Publix building and became the Polk Museum of Art officially, narrowing their collection focus. And in the 1980s, they built the current building on Lake Morton near the Lakeland Public Library.
Okay, and then you've been the curator there for a couple years now, right?
I've been there a little over 4 years.
Okay, wow. Okay, so so are there some permanent exhibitions there as well as the traveling ones?
Yes, we have one permanent gallery of work. It's our pre-Columbian gallery, our textile gallery, and the pre-Columbian pieces in our collection was really the first major gift of artwork that we received in the late 1970s. Our permanent collection now numbers close to 3,000 artworks that we pull from to curate exhibitions in-house for some of the peripheral spaces within the museum.
Okay. All right, and then coming up this spring, you have a new exhibit that's featuring two artists, but they're sort of working together to build the one exhibit, right?
Right, right.
Okay.
Our permanent collection was founded as a collection of works by Florida artists, and so we always like to showcase work by contemporary Florida artists when we can. And the exhibition we have opening in March is comprised of works by Dan Gunderson, who teaches at Stetson University and he lives in DeLand, and also Barbara Sorensen, who lives in Winter Park, Florida.
Okay, and what kind of artwork are we talking about here?
The exhibition is titled Site Specifics, and these two artists will go in and create installations in the galleries.
Okay.
And installations are different from traditional two-dimensional work or three-dimensional sculpture in that the space itself becomes part of the artwork. So they create spaces that the audience can actually go into and interact with as part of the artwork. So Barbara will have one of our main galleries and Dan will have the other of our two main galleries. And within those spaces they will create a work of art within the space itself that the audience can actually go into.
And so these are the sort of things that might be the entire room, or you might not even, you're not sure if there's something on the floor that's supposed to be cleaned up or if that's part of the art?
Right,
Okay.
right. As an example, Barbara Sorensen will have an installation in part of one of the galleries that she calls the Spilothium. And it's this environment that she creates using mixed media, resin, aluminum, but she creates these stalactites and stalagmites. And so she's creating this kind of very cavernous environment that you can walk into and interact with.
Wow.
So that's a good example of an installation.
Okay, so I bet that these exhibits or installations are kind of different every time at each location, right?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. And it really depends on the space itself. So the space is the ultimate decider of what that installation will be.
Okay. So how much does it cost to go to see this exhibit or any of the other exhibits at the museum?
Well, currently we are free on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, thanks to some sponsors. We have a private sponsor and also Mid-Florida and BB&T. They've underwritten Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to be free admission for everyone. But on Mondays, well actually we're closed on Mondays. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, we're open from 10 to 5, and it's $5 admission. General admission, $4 for seniors, and children 5 and under and students are always free.
Okay. So, and then does the museum have any special events other than, you know, a new exhibit, but maybe, I think they have a family day, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, we have a family day in the fall. We have our Mayfair by the Lake Arts
yeah,
Festival in May. It's always Mother's Day weekend in May. And also this year on June 21st, we're partnering with the Smithsonian Institution in the city of Lakeland to host Inescate 2014. And it's a weekend-long event. Part of it will be held at the new skate park in Lakeland. Part will be held at the museum. But it is basically a celebration of the artistry and innovation of skateboarding.
Wow. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like that would be a really good event to bring in some people who might not normally go to an art museum
Right.
to view art.
Sure, sure. I mean, it's reaching out. I mean, you know, as an art museum, we like to reach out and connect with various pockets of culture. And the skateboarding culture is, you know, skateboarding doesn't have that stigma that it did traditionally. I mean, skateboarding culture has gotten to be really huge. And with the opening of the new state-of-the-art skate park in Lakeland, we thought this would be a great opportunity to host something talking about skateboarding as an art form.
Interesting. Okay. So the Site Specifics exhibition, what are the dates for that?
It will open on March 22nd, and it will be open through June 7th.
Okay. And is there an opening reception or something like that?
We'll have an opening reception on the night of March 21st, which is that Friday night. And it's free for members. It's $10 for non-members. Both artists will be in attendance, and they'll give a presentation in our auditorium. They'll have catalogs for sale there, and they're happy to sign those for you if you'd like for those to be signed, and certainly answer any questions you might have about the artwork. And there's really no better source to get answers about artwork than the artists themselves, so we're lucky that they're going to be there.
Well, Adam, with the museum being open 6 days a week, and all these different exhibits coming through, I'm sure that you utilize a lot of volunteers. Is that right?
Absolutely. There are a lot of people that work behind the scenes to do everything that we do at the museum, whether it be an exhibition or a special event, most of those being volunteers. And we really rely on volunteers in the community. And we're fortunate to live in a community that we have so many people so willing to help and so enthusiastic about the arts. One special group of volunteers we have at the museum is our docent corps. We have around 15 to 20 docents who give tours to every fifth grader in the county. They also have recently started having Saturday tours. So if you go on Saturday, there will be a docent there waiting to give you a tour. So volunteers play an integral part in what we do, and we couldn't do it without them.
Okay, and how can somebody get involved and become a volunteer?
If you're interested in becoming a volunteer, just call the museum, come by, visit our visitor services department at the front desk, and they can kind of tell you who you need to talk to. But there are many ways to get involved at the museum, not just maybe volunteering at the museum, but volunteering at an event during Mayfair, for example.
That's a big one.
So there are a lot of opportunities to volunteer.
Okay, and then now the museum, it's such a beautiful space. Do you ever rent it out for private events?
We do. We have. I know in the past we've had weddings there before. We have a lot of corporate breakfasts and corporate annual meetings that utilize our auditorium. We try to, if we have a group like that who wants to rent out the space for something other than an art event, we always try to give them at least a special tour of something of the galleries while they're there. Sometimes the corporate breakfast will have breaks, and so we can be there to kind of show people around and talk about the artwork a little bit while they're on break. But we have a lot of companies and private organizations and public organizations that rent out the space for various reasons.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's better than just a banquet hall.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful space.
Yeah. Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us a little bit about the new exhibition and everything going on at the Polk Museum of Art.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, if you are a regular attender of the Polk Museum of Art, or even if you've never been before, you want to mark your calendars to make sure that you are able to see the new exhibition called Site Specifics with works by Dan Gunderson and Barbara Sorensen. The exhibition is open March 22nd through June 8th. Admission into the museum is always free for members. It's free for everyone on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And every other day, it's just $5, $4 for seniors, and students and children under 5 are free. For more information on the Site Specifics exhibition or anything going on at the Polk Museum of Art, you can log on to polkmuseumofart.org or give them a call at 863-688-7743.